If you're missing out on Maxime Raynaud, you are missing out on one of the best stretches we have seen from a rookie all season. This month, Raynaud is averaging around 18 and 8 on the second best efficiency amongst all rookies, and he's showing himself to be far more skilled than just a typical 7-footer. Raynaud isn't just on a hot streak, he's been developing every single month, and he might just be giving the Sacramento Kings a new piece to build around. But Raynaud was not supposed to be this good. As a 4-year player drafted in the middle of the second round, a consistent roster spot was less than guaranteed for the French big man. But after Domantas Sabonis suffered an injury early in this year, Raynaud got his opportunity and he hasn't looked back. By December, he was already a consistent starter, showing how some rookies can come into the league more polished than their earlier drafted younger counterparts. And since the All-Star break, Raynaud has taken another leap, averaging 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists while still being second in rookie field goal percentage. But it's not just his big numbers, it's the way that he's playing that gives me real hope for his future. So how has someone come seemingly out of nowhere to become one of Sacramento's best players, and how does he change their future? Raynaud's scoring dominance starts in the paint, but unlike other centers, we don't see him dominating strictly through his power or size. Now, he can certainly compete at about 7'1", 250, however, this was never his full game coming out of college. This month, Max is shooting 79% at the restricted area. That's actually more efficient than Alperen Sengun, Joel Embiid, and even Nikola Jokic. Raynaud can finish through contact, and he's definitely got the size to bully a mismatch down low, but the best part of his game actually comes when you take a slight step back, because Raynaud might just have the best touch that I've ever seen out of a center this young. Max absolutely loves scoring off of floaters and push shots. We're talking the kind of shots that Isaiah Hartenstein is famous for. And no player this month has been better at this area, as Raynaud leads the entire league in paint scoring outside of the restricted area, averaging 4.5 field goals per game. And he gets these with such great variety too. The first, like I said, is that push shot or floater. You give him just a little bit of room and he can easily put it up right over you. And his post hook also has some serious range. I'm talking the kind of shots that you would typically only see a center in 2K hit. You add in some solid footwork with a good first step, and you have a player who can beat you in the post in multiple ways. But something that really separates him from other rookie centers is that he is fantastic at getting himself open. It happens the most either against a zone defense or a dropping opposing center, but Raynaud is fantastic at cutting to get himself open in the paint and getting right to his sweet spot. This can also help him out of the pick and roll, where he's developed an incredible chemistry with Russell Westbrook. Max has been very open in trying to learn as much as he can from the former MVP, and he's mentioned a lot just how Westbrook makes the game so much easier for him. And with as good of a connection those two on and off the court, even with Westbrook being sidelined by an injury, it hasn't slowed down the rookie. Raynaud is a solid screen setter, but he's even better when it comes to transitioning out of a screen and slipping towards the hoop. You take someone who sets good picks and rolls quickly out of them, and you pair him with a good passer, that is a difficult combination to stop. And Raynaud doesn't blindly run to the rim either. Instead, he's all about navigating to the open space to get off the look that he wants. We talk a lot about shooters moving off the ball to get themselves open, but for a center, this skill isn't as noticeable, but it's just as valuable. And something that brings all of this together is that he has really good hands for his size. As a big, you can often be receiving quick, difficult bounce passes, lobs, and wraparounds, and even just that half second of fumbling the ball can be the difference between a make and a miss. Max is excellent at receiving any type of a pass and quickly transitioning it into a shot. While his ability to score down low is already ranking him among some of the best centers in the league, Raynaud has also shown potential in many other aspects of the game. While shooting the ball isn't a typical requirement of being an elite center, it can add to an offense and raise the ceiling of not only Max, but the Sacramento Kings as a whole. Now, Raynaud's shooting hasn't translated over from college just yet, but there are still some promising stats. In his senior year, he made 2 threes per game while shooting 35%. He's also actually shooting better at the free throw line than he did in college, as he is just under 80% on the year. Since we have seen him stretch the floor before and he is an incredible free throw shooting rookie center, this suggests the potential for more, and it also suggests that he just has overall solid fundamentals. Even though that 3-point shot isn't there and he's not really shooting it on a high volume, it's still commanding respect from defenses. There are few centers, especially rookie centers, that are this comfortable in attacking closeouts. Leave your feet for just a split second and Raynaud can get the ball on the floor, utilize his footwork and fundamentals to attack the basket easily. We also see this in transition with his acceleration and deceleration. He's great at coming in late, receiving the ball, and there's nothing defenses can really do when he already has momentum going towards the hoop. Raynaud is already surpassing expectations when it comes to his scoring, but his ceiling might come down to what happens on the other side of the ball. Now, on-off and advanced metrics are not a perfect way of measuring a player, however they are hinting at him towards being a slightly negative defender. Add in his combined wingspan and jumping abilities being measured as just average, and you wouldn't really see Max as a defensive beast. However, one thing that is clearly translated over from college is his ability to stay vertical on contests. He rarely ever bites on fakes, and this leads to him avoiding foul trouble. While a good contest can prevent easy points for the other teams, of course, it also allows him to stay on the court longer and play defense more aggressively. Now, I will say outside the paint, his lateral quickness is just average at best, and this does limit things like his versatility, and it makes him a target, especially for mismatches on the perimeter. But Maxime also does a good job of knowing when to step up or when to drop to the basket. You rarely ever see him just in no man's land, as he often has solid positioning. He also has pretty decent north-south speed. It's definitely better than his lateral quickness, and this allows him to step up on the perimeter, and it also allows him to defend drives pretty well. Also keep in mind that Raynaud is taking on a larger offensive burden, especially as of late, and the Sacramento Kings have the third worst defense in the NBA. Their defense definitely isn't something you can expect a rookie to fix overnight, let alone one who's playing really well on offense. However, developing on the defensive side of the ball might just be the difference between Raynaud being a solid player or a franchise pillar. And another skill to keep in mind for Raynaud is his passing ability, something that's becoming increasingly important for modern day centers. His numbers on the year don't look great, but they don't tell the full story either. Raynaud does get a lot of assists on the perimeter through handoffs, but he's also showing that he's getting more and more comfortable making reads and passing at his size. As his scoring has been growing, so too has his passing out of the short roll. He's getting better when it comes to making that extra pass or reading the defense, even throwing up lobs to a cutting teammate. Not only does this make an offense more difficult to guard, but by the defenses respecting his ability to pass, it lets him shoot often from where he is most comfortable. He's also shown flashes of passing well out of the post, and this is something I would love to see Sacramento incorporate more into their offense. Defenses are going to start giving him more and more attention for scoring down low, and this is the perfect way to take advantage of that. And also keep in mind, just like on defense, Sacramento hasn't exactly been a huge help. They rank dead last both in three-point volume and efficiency. So not only does Raynaud not have ideal spacing, he's not really getting the assist opportunities either. He doesn't need to be on the level of some all-time passing centers, but if he can continue to develop his passing and playmaking, he can elevate not only his own scoring, but that of the entire offense. Maxime Raynaud has already proven that he belongs in the NBA, which is pretty rare for a second-round pick to do this early in their career. He is quite polished on the offensive side of the game, and he's demonstrating the potential to do more at basically every major aspect. However, Kings fans have seen this archetype before. They've seen a center who's great on the interior, a great playmaker, but questionable defensively and doesn't really space the floor. And his similarities to Domantas Sabonis is what makes Raynaud's development so interesting. Assuming Max can continue to get better, it's not unbelievable to think that the Kings would want to move on from Sabonis. But even if Sacramento does decide to make a move, Raynaud can't just grow into the same type of center. If the Kings want to build something new, Raynaud has to develop into something new. Whether he can take the leap as a floor spacer or as a defender, taking a step will not only define his own ceiling, but possibly the future of the Sacramento Kings. That is it for this one. If you liked the video, you know what to do, and I will catch you guys all next time.